Hey, Joe.
Hey, Jay.
So you remember when Sheila, when we fired Sheila?
I don't really recall.
Yeah, it's not really anything to remember because it was no big deal.
Remember a lot of tears
Yeah, a lot of crying, screaming.
and zero coffee.
Yeah, that was upsetting, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we needed an intern to get us some coffee and to refill the mints near the door.
True.
So, we were going through applications and we found one. Very interesting.
Is that who this is?
Yeah, I figured we'd interview him right here, check
Okay.
him out, see what he's about. So, all right. Well, his name is Twix.
Okay.
Twix, no last name.
Right.
So,
It's natural.
yeah, Twix. How are you?
I'm doing good, my brothers. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
We are doing so good. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Or?
Well, it depends on what the question is, because my lawyer told me that I can't give up too information.
Okay, there we are.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So,
Jay, you have the application in front of you, right?
yeah, I do.
Okay. Why don't we start?
All right. Well, it says right here, residence, halfway house. I don't think I understand what that is. Is that where you currently live? Is that a street name?
No. I see. Well, you see what had happened was, I was at a halfway house, but now I'm kind of halfway in between houses right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I stay at the end of somebody's driveway right now.
Oh,
Neat.
okay.
Okay. And Twix that's your name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that on your birth certificate, or is that like a, dare I say, street name?
No, my mama calls me that.
Oh, okay.
Let's not bring racism into this, Jay,
Okay.
because I think that's illegal. First of all.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
trying to be a little more civil this time around.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking for is someone to run our dailies, which include, coffee runs. Jay often runs out of mayo, things like that.
Yeah.
And then were we looking for someone for social media? Can you do any social media, Twix?
Well, about the runs, going on runs actually what got me locked up last time. So,
Wait.
but I'm pretty good at it.
Wait.
Okay.
Locked up.
Can we go there?
Let's go there. So you've been locked. Do you mean incarcerated, or like your wife locked you down and couldn't get out of the house?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
So you've been locked up then. It doesn't show that on your resume.
There is definitely a spot for incarceration. I don't see it. It's not filled out. There's a smiley face.
Yeah, you drew a picture.
There's a smiley face, what appears to be a Christmas tree, and a phone number that says owes me $50.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, you see, when you asked about incarceration, I just thought that was acceptable, and I just thought that it was just asking how long you've been incarcerated for. I didn't know it was going to be an issue.
Oh, so
Okay, kind of makes sense.
Instead of answering with words, he was being creative and he was drawing what happened.
Sounds like that's
Yeah,
better.
he was smiling before I robbed him. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I like that.
I like this
That's-
guy way better than
That is creative.
Yeah.
Way better.
Okay.
Now, have you been to college?
I used to jump on the bus and go to college to look at the girls. Yeah. So I've been to college.
Okay, that's legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. So the one thing we don't do is drug test. Which, we try and leave the doors a little open for that. Is there any particular case why we should consider drug testing you?
Is drugs a problem?
Not right this second.
Not right now.
Are you on drugs during this interview?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's honest though.
I like it.
So we have honesty, creativity.
Which is huge for me.
Yes.
I think that was one of my bullet points for the application when we created it. Was look for creativity.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a born on date here that doesn't make sense. It just says Thursday for birthday. Just wondering maybe how old you were. Not that it matters.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
That's
neat.
okay.
All right.
Well,
You see, when you asked about the drugs, like my psychiatrist actually says I need to take drugs.
okay.
So, I just like to go above and beyond in that area.
Okay.
So
And-
prescription drugs or like street drugs?
Well, that's what I like to go above and beyond with. He prescribes me prescription drugs, but I tell him that the street drugs help even more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got an overachiever.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, Kit Kat. So what we want to do here is
Yeah.
we want to this is a long process. Usually what we do is we do the interview here on air, and then we like to go over a few things. But I'm pretty sure you got an answer.
I've got an answer all day.
If you have an answer, I have an answer because
Okay.
I can already tell what I'm feeling.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say it.
You want to count it up?
Yeah, I sure do.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this. 1,
2.
3.
Fired.
You're
You're
fired. You're
So
fired.
So y'all got fire? Is that what you're saying? Y'all got that fire? Good? Is that what you? Yeah.
Fired.
Yeah. Just fired.
Oh, y'all got fire for me to light the stem.
Yeah. No. Jay. Jay.
Listen, I got bills. I ain't leaving this place till I got a job, motherfuckers.
All right. Okay. I don't know where to go. We've never had this.
Yeah, we never. This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
You have bills to pay?
Yeah.
All right. How are you going to do that when you're fired?
Well, I also brought a pistol, so you know what I mean. I could just take whatever y'all got on you right now.
Okay.
There it is.
I'm going to go ahead and call that bluff because when you dropped your coat, a stapler fell out. And I don't think that's a real pistol.
Also,
And I think that's our stapler.
yeah, and another thing that fell out of that coat was most of your refrigerator magnets. I don't know what you would need those for.
Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you, fellas. I'm really high right now. I don't even know if y'all really exist right now, or if I'm just, hallucinating right now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know.
You just don't know.
Okay.
Well, let's tell you one more time. 1, 2, 3.
Fired.
1, 2, 3.
Karate. Yeah.
Defense is my specialty.
Looks like a sturgeon.
Combat.
Back off my dick.
Sex.
Don't think I won't slap you.
The Jewish rainbow?
Wanna Snickers and chill?
Mind control. Hey everyone, welcome to the Savage Podcast.
Glad to have you, motherfuckers.
So Joe,
What's up, Jay?
what's up with that intern?
I don't know. I'm glad he's gone, though.
Yeah, I kind of wanted him to stick around, to be honest.
He took the stapler.
His name was Twix.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I
I think you accidentally called him Kit Kat. I wonder if it was with a dash or not.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't sound like me, but it was probably with a dash, if I'm remembering it correctly.
Yeah. Welcome to the Savage Podcast, everyone.
What's up, you skin sacks?
Just a quick reminder to check out our website. It's www.
Nat. TheSavagePodcast.net, everybody. It's the new website. It's banging. It's clean. It's hot. It's sticky. And you're going to want to lube up.
Yeah,
Just
check
saying.
it out.
Yeah.
Check that fucking thing out. It's got everything you need to follow us, be a part of us,
Yeah.
and connect with us.
I mean, if we tell you every time what our Snapchat, what our Instagram, but you can just go right to the site now and find everything you need.
Absolutely. And for all those other things, we're going to remind you at the end of the show. But for right now, let's introduce our guest.
We got a great guest today.
the funny, the fabulous,
The fit,
the fit as fuck, handsome
handsome
Nick.
Nick.
How you guys doing?
Awesome. We're doing great.
So there's a specific reason we brought you on the show, and I appreciate it because he's so open about it with stories of his life. We all have them, and if there's someone that could go toe to toe with personal stories,
Yeah.
it's gonna be Nick here because he's got so many wonderful, funny, terrible, outrageous, scary, up and down stories, just like all of us. But I think his are a little bit deeper.
A little bit.
And so the theme of today's show
What is it?
is drugs. Yes. Drugs. Everyone, whether you like them or hate them, it's always on. It's always in the media and it's always buzzing something about drugs.
You've got an opinion. If you're out there, you've got an opinion. on it.
Yeah. So you want to lead us off with maybe a little story?
Yeah, I think I can do that. I'm gonna let you guys build a little bit more into the whole drug thing,
Yeah.
and then I will, I'll drop a real good one on you.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's
Yeah.
start that. Let's start with drugs.
Okay.
Well, I actually, every one of my stories is drug oriented. Okay, so I was living in this 6-bedroom house one time, and it was funny because there was only 2 of us that were living there. And one of the guys was actually overseas. He was in the Air Force, and he was sending us rent money every month, which is cool that he was still doing that, so we could keep the house. But anyways, we did so many drugs and we partied so much that our heat got turned off.
Of course.
Our electricity got turned off. So we still threw monster parties, though. Monster parties. And we would like to play beer pong by candlelight. That was a big fiesta. You know what I mean? Big thing we like doing.
So this guy went away and he was sending rent money. So you guys were living in a house that was paid by someone that was out in war?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. That's a
And
good setup if that's
I
the
love
life.
it.
and I had lost my job actually, so whatever girl I was kind of seeing, I would have them pay. You
Right,
know?
of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course. You know how that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, so I had this thing that I was doing. I had a girl for the morning, I had a girl for the afternoon, and then I had the girl that would come over at night after she got out of work.
Right.
Okay. So, we had just got done throwing a party, and I was hungover. Could we swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay, I was hungover as a motherfucker.
Right.
Motherfucker. And this one girl came over, right? And she said, we had a dog. Okay, let's keep that in mind for the future part of the story. We had a dog.
Noted.
And the guy from overseas, he's a crack. He's a crackhead. So he's not the guy you're thinking of, by the way. He's not that guy. So what happened was, the dog was over there. Actually, the dog was my brother's dog.
Okay.
Okay, he had a pit bull, red-nosed pit bull. And this girl came over, and she said, we started fooling around, messing around. She went in the bedroom, and she told me, she said, I want to be your first, or I want you to be my first. So I said, first what?
Uh-oh.
She said, anal. I said, okay.
All right.
You know, okay, we could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was fingering it a
Right.
little bit, you know what I mean? Stretching it out and stuff like that.
Sure.
And she wanted me to take it real gentle. But when a dude is getting anal from a girl for the first time, I don't know too many dudes that are gentle about that shit.
Not once.
So I kind of rammed it in there.
Yeah.
I rammed it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was going real well. Everything was going well. And then I was thrusting. And then she goes, you know, I'm sorry. And I said, sorry for what? And she said, nothing. And I said, okay. So I thrusted a couple more times. And then when I pulled my dick out one of the times, I had seen this burgundy colored, almost blood looking shit on my dick.
There it is.
Yeah, almost the color of your shirt, Joe.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's why I picked this shirt.
Right, exactly, to go along with the story. So, I pulled it out, and I'm thinking, damn, I must have ripped her asshole open.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm thinking
Sure.
it's blood. I
It's
must have
blood.
ripped her asshole open, right? And then I smell it. Okay. I said, damn, is that me? You know, because I didn't shower from the night before.
Right.
So I'm thinking, damn, yo, I stink. And then she said, I'm sorry again. And then I pull out, right? And there's a pause. And there's shit all over my dick. Shit. I come to learn that there's shit on my dick.
Right.
It's shit.
It's shit.
It's shit. And about 10 seconds later, she goes, my stomach really hurts. And I said, well, go to the bathroom. And all of a sudden, it's like somebody opened the floodgates.
No.
Diarrhea. All over the bed sheets.
She didn't even make it to the bathroom?
She couldn't.
There's more.
Okay, go.
It gets thicker.
Okay.
Literally.
Literally, Henry.
And so there's this huge pile of diarrhea shit on my bed now. Okay? This huge pile of diarrhea shit on my bed, right? And now the girl who I was actually seeing, she worked till a certain time. And I knew when she came over from work, she was very isolated, so she liked to just kick it in my room.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
She didn't like being around the rest of the house at all or whatever like that. She was kind of a stuck-up bitch. I hope she hears this. And so there's that huge diarrhea pile on my bed sheets, right? And I yell at this girl. I said, get the fuck out of my house. She said, well, let me clean up at least. I said, you can clean up at home. I kicked that bitch out in nothing but a pair of socks and a bra. You know what I mean? Kicked her out. I don't remember if it was winter, but I couldn't care if it was. So I kicked her out, and I'm running around trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I grabbed the bottle of Febreze, and I Febreze the fuck out the room and the bed sheets and stuff like that.
Sure.
So my girl, the actual girl, comes home, and she goes, oh, I had a long day at work. She's like, I want to get fucked. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I said, oh, yeah, okay. And she said, let's go right to your room right now. And I said, baby, I said, no. You know what would be even hotter? I said, if we did it on the couch or the kitchen table or something like that. Yeah. You know, we don't need to do it in my room. We do it in my room all the time, you know? And she was like, no, fuck that. I want to lay down on bed and have you fuck me. Let's just go. Let's just do this. And I said, whoa, no, wait. And she's already walking into the bedroom.
Oh, Jesus.
And now, it smells like scented flowers covered in shit.
Okay, yep.
And an almost indescribable smell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a part of you, like the initial reaction when you walk in there is like a Febreze commercial. You're like, oh, but then it hits you and you're like, oh, you know. So
now this room, how big was this room? Like, can you see the bed right when you walk in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's your stereotypical Buffalo house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
And so she said, "What the fuck is that?" And I play stupid. I say, "What?" You know, and she was like, "What's that huge ass shit stain on your bed?" And I said, right on cue, dude, almost as if I paid the dog. Oh my God. The dog walks in the room. And I slap it on the nose. And I say, you son bitch. I said, this goddamn dog must have shit on my bed. I said, baby, I ain't been in my room all day. I said, but I must have left the door open a crack and this goddamn dog shit on my bed. So after I get done yelling at the dog, I just rip the sheets off the bed and say, yo, you still trying to fuck or what? Yep. You know? And she said, yeah. Because it was just on the comforter. So the other sheets were, you know what I mean, not shit stained.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it still smelled again like the scented flowered shit.
Right.
So like so I ripped it the comforter. I threw it to the comforter in the corner of the room, and we started fucking. Right now, I'm gonna tell you how dirty I am. Now, I never took a shower and cleaned myself after that girl shit on my dick.
No, it's go time.
Right. So now this girl, when she comes home from work, she likes to foreplay. So before
I know where this is going.
I fucked her,
Oh yeah,
she sucked my dick with the shit stains on my dick.
on your dick.
Boom.
Check this out.
Savage. Welcome to the
she said-
Savage Podcast, everybody. I hope you're loving this because I am.
She said, "Baby, what's on your dick?" I said, "Oh, well, I just wanted to get kinky, so I wanted to put some Hershey's chocolate syrup on my dick and have you lick it off." She said,
Oh my God.
Yes.
"Mm-hmm."
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
She said, "Okay," and she went to town.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yes.
There it is. Wow.
And this is before he was on drugs.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I was just experimenting at this point.
just the natural course of action. That's a fantastic story.
Yes.
That's a fantastic story.
Yes.
What a great opener.
fucking great.
What a great opener. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. God damn. Whatever happened to the other girl? Did you ever see her again?
Oh, of course. I saw her the next day.
Yeah. Good. Right. Perfect.
Actually, matter of fact, I to rewind a little bit. When I actually kicked her out and threw her clothes at her while she was in her socks and panties, as I slammed the door in her face, and then I opened it a crack and said, "Text me later."
Of course.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Mhm.
Make sure you listen to the episode with Randy, John,
Mhm.
to hear my poop story. I
Very
won't
good.
go over it again, but it's great.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very
What
good.
episode was that? It's not
9.
It's
Number
Episode
9,
9.
Randy John,
That's
Yeah.
gay
absolutely-
sex god.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Incredible. That was an incredible story. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome. I loved every second of that. Okay, so let's dive into this drug thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we've all done what we've done. I guess right off the bat, let's start here. Now we know that you've gone through your battle.
Correct.
Yeah. So to pull some positive notes from that before we go negative, what was or is your favorite drug?
Ooh. See, that's tough.
I ask this to a lot of people, and the response I always get, not to cause bias, but I always hear opiates.
Okay.
Opiates are good.
Yeah.
Now, when I was first starting with the drugs, I would individually do drugs. But then it got to a point where I had to do drugs together. See, I loved shooting cocaine.
Okay.
But the problem is when you crash off of that cocaine, it's diabolical.
Okay.
So then I started shooting the heroin with the cocaine.
And
Okay?
that makes it.
Speedballing. And then opiates are great. Don't get me wrong, they are. You know what I mean? I am clean now, by the way.
Yes.
But opiates are great.
Clean and healthy looking, I might add.
Thank you.
Very healthy looking.
And but honestly, the best drugs that I've done is opiates mixed with benzos.
Wow. That sounds like a fucking wild ride.
It's a crazy cocktail.
Yeah, it is a crazy cocktail.
Actually, that cocktail, true story here, January 15th, 2015, I was able to manage to go to the ER at ECMC 3 times that day. Three
Wow.
times in one day.
Wow.
Last time ended in cuffs. But, so I was in an outpatient counseling, and I went to the counseling. I was staying at my buddy James's house in Tonawanda, and we were partying like crazy. He had this drug called butabitol, which is a barbiturate, which is sedatives. And he was also prescribed a drug called Klonopin. Yes. And So I had grabbed a whole bunch of both of those drugs because he had scripts, and I had heroin myself. Okay, so and I had to have cocaine because I had to stay awake. You know what I mean? All those drugs together, I would have been nodded out and useless to anybody.
Right.
And I had to go to drug counseling, so I had to be awake for drug counseling. So I had to shoot some cocaine. So I shot some cocaine, and as I was walking through Tonawanda to Amherst to counseling, I was popping these pills, Klonopin and butabitol. And then I got there, and at the time, I was on a maintenance program drug called Suboxone. And they're very strict on the Suboxone program to not do benzos or sedatives because it can kill you, they said.
Okay.
So what happened was I had my backpack with me because I always like to portray the look of a student when I was walking down the street.
Right.
When in all actuality, there was nothing but needles, caps, and cottons in it. So you know what I mean? And there might have been my book of poems too.
Right.
So,
Hey,
right.
every good druggie has a good book of poems.
Right,
I know
exactly.
that.
So I got to counseling, and all the drugs kicked in and hit me like a shit brick house. Wow. And I was just like, duh. And the counselor, he was naive idiot. And he said, I need to introduce you to my supervisor. Excuse me. Now, the supervisor already knew me because I had been in and out of that clinic for quite a while. So I went to the supervisor, and she called me right out on that shit. She said, well, she's like, I know you're under the influence right now. I said, nuh-uh. She said, oh, yeah. She's like, it's written all over your face. She's like, it looks like you had a stroke. And I was like, man, shut up. And she was like, well, it's protocol right now. We can't let you leave here unless you leave in an ambulance to get cleared. So I said, whatever. So I ran into the bathroom, right? And everybody that was at the outpatient clinic later found out this story. I went to the bathroom and I did all my, well, not all, but a lot of the drugs I had on me. And I was on the toilet and I fell out. Falling out means you basically kind of OD, okay? So I fell out on the toilet at the outpatient drug clinic, and they finally got into the bathroom, and I got into the ambulance, and I went to ECMC. They flushed me full of liquids, gave me Narcan a couple times, and released me. I took the 13 Kensington bus from ECMC that goes right up into ECMC, the 13 Kensington bus back to the University Station. While I was on the bus, I still had all my drugs because the cops weren't involved, so they don't search you. And I still had all my drugs, and I was in the back of the bus, and I was bold and ballsy. And I shot up again in the back of the bus.
Holy shit.
Fell out again. Okay? So the bus apparently called the ambulance, and I went back to ECMC again for a second time. Okay? Now, I also had some charges at the time. I'm not going to tell you about those, but one of them involved an order of protection.
Okay.
And I was not allowed to go back to a house. Okay? So I went, after I got released the second time from ECMC, I went back to that house just because it's programmed and I was high as a kite.
Right.
And I just didn't know where else to go.
Okay.
So I went back to the house and I shot up in the house, and thank God the girl actually came home and she called the cops, and because I broke the order of protection. So I didn't know any of this, and I really don't recall any of this because I was so retarded at the time. But I remember waking up and I was handcuffed to a stretcher in the ER, in triage. And there was 2 sheriff's officers sitting in the doorway. Okay? And they were laughing at me. They thought the shit was funny as fuck. And I was still puking because if anybody knows what Narcan is, Narcan actually rips the opiates off of your mu receptors in your brain and sends you into immediate withdrawal. And all of a sudden, I'm itching my chest because my chest burns. Like, I'm itching it, and it's itchy, and it burns and shit like that. And the doctor comes in the room, and he said, "You are one lucky son of a bitch." I said, "What are you talking about, man? I'm handcuffed to a bed right now, and there's 2 sheriff's officers sitting in the doorway. How am I lucky?" He told me. He said, "We lost you for 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Holy shit.
He said, "Your heart stopped for 1 minute and 26 seconds. We almost called it." He said, "We had to give you 3 shots of Narcan. 0.02 first, then 0.04, then another 0.02. Okay?
So 0.08 of Narcan.
Of Narcan, which is, if anybody knows, is a lot. And
Wow.
he said that didn't even bring you back because that just rips the opiates off.
Yeah.
I was still on a shit ton of sedatives. So
So your heart your heart was sleeping.
Yeah.
Your heart was like, nah.
It took a nap.
yeah. And just to finish the story up here, he said we had to use the paddles on you. We had to use the defibrillator on you because the Narcan wasn't bringing you back. So we had to shock you back with the defibrillator. And now you're here. He said hopefully this jail experience will clean up your act. It didn't.
No.
But you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but it took a lot more actually for me to go through to finally get clean. But
Okay. Let me ask you a few questions, okay?
yeah.
What is when you say falling out, is that a full OD or is that to the point where you've passed out, you've lost consciousness, but your heart rate is still where it kind of needs to be?
Correct. The second one.
Okay. What does that feel like? Do you just phase out and do you know you're about to fall out?
Yeah, you could feel it. You
Okay.
could feel it. I think it might be different for different people.
Okay.
But from what I've felt, it almost is like you going to tunnel vision. You know what I mean? And it narrows. You know what I mean? And you just you really don't feel anything, which is why a lot of people like to commit suicide by drugs. You know what I mean? Because you really don't feel any pain
Right.
or anything like that. You just, like you said, you kind of just fade out.
Okay, so you don't get nervous. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Incredible. Wow. So was that one of the highest you've ever been?
Oh, God, no.
No. Okay. Perfect. Wow.
I was actually real big on the downtown scene. And I don't mean downtown like a lot of these suburban kids mean downtown on the Chippewa Strip. I mean downtown, like Main and Court, Tim
Downtown,
Hortons,
yeah.
downtown Lafayette Square. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, there it is. All right, let's go there. I think the highest I ever was a night of coke, ecstasy, and we took mushrooms,
Yes.
and I got fucking fizzled.
Uh-huh.
We drank a shit ton of beer, smoked a shit ton of weed, freestyled the whole night. You know what happens when you're rolling.
Of course.
It's time for everybody to get together and do some fun shit.
Oh, yeah. I was a huge beanhead.
Yeah,
Huge beanhead.
I
Yeah.
know. I love that shit.
Mhm.
But I remember feeling so high and getting a feeling inside of me that was euphoria that built and built and built to the point where I didn't know if I was going to be able to take it anymore.
Yes.
And thankfully, instead of having like a nervous breakdown and like passing out, which is where I thought I was headed, it evened out just at the right time. But I was fucking rolling fucking hard. It was just like, it was one of those nights. I think it was one of those 16-hour nights where it's sundown, sun up, sundown again.
Yes.
And then to come down after we were coming down off of everything and it was like really shitty, we just kept popping lower tabs just to ease it out.
Yes.
You know, just to go that extra, smoke a lot of weed and then pass out and not wake up for like 3 days.
Now, do you like mushrooms?
I loved any kind of hallucinogen
Yes.
because I was a musician,
Yes.
artist, and anytime I did that stuff, it would like, it was always a way for me to do something without feeling like I was wasting anything. Like I could still do the things that I wanted to do.
Yes. You see, I love mushrooms because with mushrooms, it almost feels like to me that when you swallow the mushrooms, that you swallow a little gnome, and when you swallow him, he's inside your belly, tickling your belly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the magic gnome.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah,
Yeah. Me and him are pretty good friends.
he's shown me a lot of fun things.
But,
Yeah, we're boys.
yeah, we go way back. Yeah.
We go way back. So, what do you got there?
Actually, I have a question for you, but let me explain like the background of it. So like we were talking before in Portugal, all drugs were decriminalized
Yes.
in 2001.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Weed, cocaine, heroin, everything. And the way they look at it is a public health issue now and not a criminal one. If you get caught with paraphernalia on you or doing it in public, there's a small fine, and they give you a referral to a treatment program with no jail time. And according to the chart that I'm looking at right now, drugs rarely kill anyone in Portugal nowadays, because what they did was they took all the funding out of trying to fight drugs, and what they did was they took all that funding and put it into programs to help people that want to help themselves. Now, the people that are getting caught with drugs, these are in family neighborhoods. These are just walking around the streets. You can't just openly do drugs anywhere you want. What they do is they have fenced off, gated areas where you can do it clean. Like, people will come out and supply fresh needles so that your shit doesn't get all spread all over. So if you're passing Hep, AIDS, whatever, any kind of those diseases, at least they're stopping them right in those fences.
Right.
You can't just do that everywhere you go. However, they put these people in an area, and you can do whatever you want. And what they did was they took all that funding and they put it towards people that actually want to become clean. And since then, deaths related by drugs have went straight down. Crime has went straight down. And I think that's a very interesting concept, because
It kind of goes against what we're being taught.
shoved down our throats,
Yeah.
which is don't do this, don't do that. Okay, so agree or disagree with me, whether it's legal or not, somebody's going to get their fucking hands on a drug, whether they want to or not.
Well, okay, I've been incarcerated in and out many of times. It varies person to person, man, to be honest with you. I personally don't believe in drug courts. Some people, it saved their lives. You know what I mean? I personally, myself, jail did really nothing for me but make me angry.
Right.
And actually, when you're in an environment like jail, it makes you want to use even more.
Even more.
And to be honest with you, the last time I was locked up, there was more drugs in my pod than there was out on the street.
So do you think that this is a value, like a system that should be maybe taken into consideration, only because, like you said, it varies person to person. However, I think that if I was forced to do something, I would be a little more apprehensive to follow the rules, especially if I'm already breaking them. What they're doing is they're taking this culture and they're helping the people that want to be helped. And if I may, the people that just can't deal with it and know what they're doing and they just get too fucking deep, they end up dying. And that sucks. But on the other hand, society's not paying for that.
Well, honestly, like I said, first and foremost, nobody can force anybody to get clean. They're only going to get clean if they truly, truly want to.
Right.
But like what a lot of people don't know is people don't just get high for the feeling of the drug. True drug addicts really don't get high for the feeling of the drug. They're getting high to mask something, be it depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. A lot of mentally ill people are drug addicts.
So don't you think it would be a better solution to, instead of just throwing them in jail and making them a number in a system and then draining the money and the funds from taxpayers, don't you think it would be a better situation to put all of that money that is being thrown into paying for inmates more towards people that want to get help, whether it be psychological help to help the drug problem or to give them medicine to maybe wean themselves off?
Yes and no. And I'll tell you this why. Because I've also been in numerous rehab facilities in this state, Florida, Pennsylvania. And honestly, when the weather starts to get cold, drug addicts will intentively go into rehab just to escape the cold, wasting beds for people who really want the help. So an addict is a very manipulating, conniving individual. You know what I mean? We are. That's what we do. You know what I mean? And we learn that because that's how we've learned to survive on the streets.
Right.
So that is a good plan and a good idea, but at the same time, you're also going to get those addicts that take advantage of that too. You know what I mean? So not everybody is out there just to get the help.
Well, I don't think they give them help in the way of they give them beds to sleep in, things like that. This is more, okay, if you want help, we'll give you counseling. If you want help, we'll give you a medicine and a treatment program to help you wean yourself off. So I think the way they set it up was, anywhere you go, anything you do, someone's going to try and take advantage of the system. You're never going to be able to help that with anything. Even coupons at the grocery store. There's people out there fucking saving up coupons and getting free groceries. It is what it is.
Sure.
I'm just saying, as a group of people, would it benefit that mass community to just have resources for people to say, I need help, opposed to, nope, you're going to jail. If you admit to me right now that you're on drugs, you're going to jail.
Right.
Because like you said, when you're in jail, one, there's probably more shit available to you,
Correct.
not helping the cause. And two, it's draining on taxpayers' money, not helping the cause. Three, you're getting sent out into the world. Where are you going to start? Over.
Yes, I think it is a good idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the overall scheme of things, yes, I think.
Now, let me ask you this. What was, just to prove my point in such a beautiful way, what was the reason you came off? Was it because the court said, Nick, it's time for you to come off of drugs?
No, not at all. I was kicked out of my drug court program.
Boom. Okay. So what was the inspiration that you had?
It just, like I said, every individual reaches a point, hopefully, before they die, because it will kill you. Matter of fact, the heroin epidemic especially is so terrible right here, right now in this area. I went to 11 funerals last year.
Yeah.
And that's just people that were close to me. Not, you know what I mean? There was probably another 30, 40 people that I just knew. But what I'm saying is, yes, in the overall scheme of things, it's good. But I had to reach a point finally. Why I quit was I was just so beat up, bro. I was so beat up. I was sick of ODing. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing to go to ECMC every other week and triage the nurses, detox. They all know you by your name, bro. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. Not to mention every officer that just stops you because you're walking down the street.
So do you think that maybe if a while ago you were like, okay, I really just want to go get help myself, that would have benefited?
Dude, I honestly, in my personal experience, I've never turned down help. I've always wanted to help. Once, see,
Right.
it got out of control probably when I was about 21 years old, so almost a decade ago.
So unfortunately, I guess the way we have it set up here in America, now let's just say, set the bar as rock bottom is death.
It is.
Is it safe to say that it took for you to be literally laying down on the bottom as far as you can go right before death, before you could stand up and achieve, how many months of sobriety are you?
A little over a year.
Very nice. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to say that you had to hit rock bottom and go through all this bullshit before you were able to say, okay, fuck that?
Yes. Before I used to, well, especially in early recovery, I was always throwing a pity party for myself. Oh, woe is me, this and that. Why did I have to go to jail? Why did I bury so many friends? You know what I mean? This and that, and now I look back on that, on all those experiences, and I've realized, what they say about what doesn't kill you makes you stronger is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that, yes, I needed to go through all those experiences because I was hardcore. I was a rock star without the money and the fame. I mean, I did everything and anything I could. Any drug that I could get my hands on, alcohol included, I did, because alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
But, yes, I had to go through all those experiences to get to where I am now. And you know what? All those experiences that I used to bitch about, now in recovery, I can use those experiences and those stories to help out another individual, because at first I felt like I couldn't relate to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that kid who's in the meetings or whatever like that, and he feels like he can't relate to anybody because of what he's been through, now has somebody to turn to.
Very nice. Do you want to maybe share one more story and then we'll get into some questions? What do you think, Joe?
I, just go because I've been listening the whole time you guys were talking. I think you're right, both of you, where it becomes kind of like a moral issue.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been for going back to anarchy and just leaving the law behind.
Yeah.
I've always been about that and letting humans take care of themselves for better or for worse.
But your definition of anarchy is, of course, not burning down banks and
No, my definition of
slashing
anarchy
tires.
is returning, to a more, I'm not all for, if tomorrow they said it's legal to burn down banks, I wouldn't burn down a bank.
Right.
Just like if they said meth was legal, I wouldn't do meth.
Right, and that's one of the big scares that I believe that
Excuse me.
America is pushing is the idea of, if it's illegal, or if it's legal, everyone's going to do it. Here's the thing. Knowledge is power. In schools, at home, it should be infused on the good things and the bad things about drugs. Don't just fucking force bad things down people's throats or else people are going to be curious of, what's good. Tell them the good things.
Sure.
Because there are. Let's just, real quick, pot. There are so many fucking good things about pot, and they won't even go there. They won't even research it.
The fucked up
fucking
thing,
bullshit.
The fucked up
They're
thing
starting
is,
to.
Yeah.
The fucked up thing is that you've got people who are so anti-drug,
Mm-hmm.
who drink,
Mm-hmm.
right? They'll talk shit about drugs all the time, and they fucking drink.
The worst drug.
And you want to talk about fucking educating people on the good and the bad and all that shit. And what
Mhm.
they do is they give you all this negative shit while you're in school.
Right.
And then as soon as you're old enough to contemplate and understand things, they're throwing commercials in your face that say nothing but alcohol is an awesome, awesome thing that leads to greatness.
Right. And that's
It
the
leads
worst
to
drug.
titties. It leads to football games. And that is like, to me, that's one of the worst. The people I hate most in life are usually the people that are the drunkest.
Yeah.
The people that I've gone away and gone, man, that guy was a fucking asshole, is always because he's 9 Coors deep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I
Yeah.
actually say something?
Yeah.
You are right about alcohol, first of all. See, alcohol is one of the most dangerous drugs for so many different reasons. One, true alcoholic gets to the point of blacking out.
Yeah.
Then God knows what you are capable of doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Especially getting behind the wheel of the car, which I've done myself, and I've actually flipped my car upside down, and Jason's seen it. You know what I mean? I don't know how I walked out of that car crash. But another thing is, for anybody who's truly been an alcoholic and gone through alcohol withdrawal, it's awful.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only ones next to benzos that can actually kill you, from withdrawing from it. There's seizures, there's hallucinations, there's DTs, there's trauma, everything. It's a terrible, terrible drug. And I don't understand it. It's on every shelf in every grocery store in America.
It's at drug stores, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. As long as we're clear. I mean, doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. This country's so fucking twisted, it's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do drugs, do them. If you die, you die.
Right.
If you want to help yourself someday, you help yourself.
You knew that risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you knew that. Nobody shoots up heroin without knowing that can't possibly be bad. Just like you know good and well, if you get into a knife fight, there's a chance you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't have they don't ask you to go to Knives Anonymous.
Right.
Knife Fight Anonymous.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll never be resolved.
No, there's too many politics and people are so this way and so that way instead of coming together and figuring out a proper solution. At the very least, I think that we can all agree at least Portugal tried something.
They did.
Other than just expending all of their available cash, all of their everything, all their assets.
That's
Or
all
not
they have
assets,
too.
but-
So
I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, so do you have any more stories you want to share?
Oh, I have tons of stories.
All right. Well, let's pick your fucking pick a good one. Whether it's sex, combat, mind control.
Right, UFOs.
Yeah,
Right.
anything.
time travel.
Oh yeah, let's do the I want to talk about the salvia.
Oh my goodness. Okay, another drug that you used to be able to buy in the stores.
Right.
See, some of the drugs that you were used to be able to before these kids ruined it for us, was spice, which is what I grew up knowing as K2, and now it's all these different things, Mr. Happy and all this other shit. But in bath salts, I was actually hooked on bath salts for quite a while.
Okay, now can I just stop you? What when you say bath salts?
Mhm.
Bath salt, like literally bath salts?
No. It's not like bath salts that you would throw in a bath, like Epsom salt. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's a chemical. Honestly, I don't know too much about its background. I just know what it does to the human body.
Okay, I know it makes people fucking nuts, right?
It can. Again,
can.
each drug affects people differently.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So yes, can it make people go crazy? I'm sure any drug can. I think that K2 is no, I shouldn't say it's worse, but I think K2 can mess up a person's brain just as much as bath salts can. But bath salts is it's a research chemical type thing. You know what I mean? And it's, in my opinion, it's like a combination of ecstasy and cocaine.
Done that.
Mhm.
A lot of fun.
Right. And
A lot of fun.
but back to the original story was a drug that I bought one time at a place called Pavilion on Main Street.
Oh, good old Pavilion.
Good old Pavilion. They had it was 11 o'clock in the morning, and me and two people that I was hanging with, we were wondering why we were not yet fucked up. Because 11 o'clock in the morning, we're already late. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
late for work.
Yeah.
So I said it's time to go to work. So we talked about it, and we couldn't get a hold of any other drugs, no pills or anything at that time, because most drug dealers are sleeping at that time.
Sure.
So we decided that we would go to Pavilion and get a drug called salvia. And we had just heard about it. We didn't know too much about it. We knew that it looked like finely grained weed, but it was like a hallucinogen. So we went to Pavilion, and I went there, and there was this Indian gentleman behind the counter, and I said, he said, can I help you? I said, well, I'm looking for salvia. You know, we were all sketchy about it and stuff. And he said, yeah. He said, but it comes in different strengths. And at that time, I think you can get it a lot stronger on the res, or you could. I don't know about now. But at that time, it was 40 times. It was a purple color, and it was 40 times. And that was the strongest they had. So the two people I was with didn't know that I got the strong one. So I got the strong one. It cost I think it was like $20, $25. And so we went back to the house, and he told me to smoke it in a bowl. But you had to wrap aluminum foil, because it's so finely grained that you had to wrap aluminum foil around a bowl or a bong head, and then poke little pinpricks in it and smoke it like that.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So so you're supposed to, especially if it's your first time, you're just only supposed to do a little bit and smoke it out of a bowl or something like that. So I told them that we should smoke it out of a bong, okay? And I took half the packet of the salvia and put it into this bong head. And I smoked it. I took a humongous monster blast, and it didn't hit me right away. And I said, oh man, this shit is whack. And I go to hand it to my boy, the bong to my boy, so he can hit it. And when he took the bong from me, my arm detached itself from the body and went with the bong. So my arm was gone. It was detached itself from my body. I was heavily tripping. And then everything on him, his whole body shape, turned into geometric shapes.
Awesome.
Yes. His head turned into a circle, granted.
Yeah.
His torso turned into a triangle, and his limbs turned into rectangles. And now I thought I was speaking proper English. Apparently I was not. You know, I was talking gibberish. You know. So apparently I'm walking around the room, and I can only remember bits and pieces, but apparently I'm walking around the room, and there was this blue couch in our living room, and there was something about it that I got sucked into the couch, literally sucked into the couch,
Yeah.
and I couldn't pry myself off of the couch. Literally, I was using all my strength to get off the couch, but I couldn't. I was stuck.
Now, were you nervous at this point?
I was nervous as hell, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So it wasn't like you were enjoying this.
No,
You
no,
were-
no, no,
Okay.
no. It was very
Okay.
unenjoyable.
Okay.
Yes. And then my face was like stuck to the side of the couch like that, and I went to pry my face off of the couch, and that side of my face stuck to the couch.
You're losing a lot of stuff here.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, my arm, my side of my face,
Okay.
yes. And finally, I was able to pry myself off of the couch, and then just as I got off of the couch, I was sucked back into the couch, but I bounced over the couch and into the wall, which led into a parallel universe.
Awesome.
Yes. So I went through the portal into the alternate universe, parallel dimension, whatever. And I started free falling, and I was falling on this big toy ball. And I literally, at this point, I really believed that I had died and this was the afterlife. I really did. So I fall. Now, remember, as I told you earlier in this conversation, that our house had no electricity and no heat.
Right.
Okay. So we had no cable, no television. We had video game systems and stuff like that, but we didn't have anything else. So when I fell into this dimension, the two people that I was with were sitting on the couch and they were watching television. Okay. And they said, "Come on, man. Something good's on. You know, come on and join us." And I said, "Damn." You know what I mean? And all of a sudden then I got sucked back out. And when I came to, I was standing in the driveway, and a lot of the clothes I was wearing, like I had taken my boots off, and I had taken other parts of my clothes off, and I was in the driveway, and I was like gasping for air. I was out of it. I was paranoid. Now with Salvia, it's like, it seems like an eternity, but it's really only 5 minutes of intense hallucinations.
Doesn't this sound so much like DMT?
Mm-hmm.
It's like identical.
Yes. And then there's like an hour, 2 hour afterglow. Okay. Yes.
I love that. That sounds great.
Right. And so, but to end this story, what happened was I needed to be outside because inside the house was just giving bad vibes. So I was walking around on the street, and the two people I was with, they were asking me, "What did you see? What happened? What this and that?" And I said, I started telling them, I said, "Yo, I got sucked into the wall, and I went into this alternate dimension, and you guys were there watching TV and stuff, and then I cut myself off. The drug made me so paranoid that I thought I was still in the alternate dimension, and they were looking at me, and I thought they were looking at me like, oh shit, he knows.
Oh shit.
He knows. You know what I mean? He knows." And I thought I was still in the other dimension.
Holy fuck.
So I thought they were going to kill me
Uh-huh.
because I knew the secret of the alternate dimension.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And I was fucked up like that for about half a day.
Wow. Now, how did they get away with selling this legally?
I don't.
It's because I know the answer to this, because it was never meant to be used recreationally, as far as to go trip your balls off and have fun, because it really is such an intense high. I've tried very few drugs in my life. This was one of them. And if you do it properly, you're actually supposed to do it one person at a time, so that you have a team of people or just one other person to kind of watch you, so you don't get up, stumble into something, grab things.
Jump
Because,
off a roof.
yeah, because you're completely gone for about 3 to 5 minutes. What they use it for is for sorts of meditation, mind clearing, and that's what it was meant for. And that's kind of how they brought it on the market and justified it in our market. When we tried it, and the same thing happened to me. I got sucked into the couch. The couch just literally sucked me into the fucking couch, and I woke up and I was in space, looking down at the earth, floating around and
That
shit.
sounds awesome.
And then I came back. I also did it with an open mind of meditating. Like, I was trying to be. I followed the directions to a T. Blah blah blah. And it was a great experiment. And I think I ended up doing it twice. The second time, what we did was we experimented with it like an actual scientific experiment. What we did was I laid in a bed and I took it, and my buddy was taking timestamps and time notes, because when you're under the influence of this, you have no
There's
concept,
no concept of time.
time, anything. Everything can change, your whole sense of reality, and you have new senses that you never knew you had, kind of like what we were talking about
That's
in
awesome.
a previous episode. you gain senses, you lose senses, and you lose reality to the point where, like Nick was saying, that he lost his arm. His arm just went with the drug, and you are visualizing this, and that is your reality, and that is your truth at the time. So what we did was we sat down, or I'm sorry, I laid down, and we kept timestamps on everything that happened, and I was trying to verbalize to him what was going on, even though my eyes were closed, and I was tripping ass and fucking circling the world, and I'm like, I'm in Egypt right now. Right now I'm standing on a pyramid, and it was almost lucid because I could kind of control it after a while. And I told him all my experiences of where I was and who I was with and what was eating my foot, and it was such a crazy experience. And then finally, I believe at the 4:30 mark, maybe 4-minute mark, I started to come back, and then I was telling him step by step in a journal exactly the process it takes your mind to kind of climb out of this state of mind. Now, with him, he took a giant bong rip, which you're not supposed to do, so obviously it affected him a little bit more harshly.
Okay.
And then he had effects going on throughout the day because it got into his system a lot further than, say, my experience.
Just a little bit. So, real quick, what was this a synthesized thing, or was this made? Is salvia as in the leaf salvia?
Yeah,
I believe
it's the leaf salvia. Yeah, you used to be able to grow it.
Yeah,
you can grow this, and it's super easy.
We used to sell this flower at the market.
What's that?
I think salvia, the flower. It's a leafy.
I've never seen the flower. I've never seen it flower before. I only saw it. It comes in these big packages, and it's just these green leaves. And
Incredible.
you can dry
or
them
finely
out.
grained.
Or grained. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like
So this-
grained pot.
This seems like one of those things that if, like Jay is saying, like under the right circumstance and with the right intention, could be something really cool.
Absolutely.
And
If you follow the directions and do it in a safe place, because the first time I did it, we were sitting out back, and
Like bounce magic.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh,
could
my
you
God.
imagine doing it at like a trampoline
well,
place?
They had to sit me down because I was near a pool. I was
Mm-hmm.
standing near an in-ground pool, and I stood up and started walking around. Now, you know what it's like trying to take care of a grown-ass man walking around at 2:30, 2:40 at the time, and they're all trying to hold me from... I'm like, no, I'm...
Shout out to Todd.
I'm
What's up?
I'm fine. I'm fine. And I started wandering towards the pool, so it took all of my friends to pull me back and sit me
You
down.
big Samoan.
And then my chair ate me.
And then you're no big deal.
I believe it's closely related to like peyote or mescaline.
gotta
That type
be.
of
Yeah.
that type of
Gotta
drug.
be.
Let's go there. You said that there's this, or was that an
Check
answer
this
to
out.
one of the questions that we have?
No, it's not. I don't think. Well, I got two other questions here, but I just wanted to get this out there.
Yeah.
There is and you'll hear lots of people talking about this now, but there's a thing called ayahuasca, the Peruvian death vine.
Yeah.
Okay. When you eat certain,
This is a Native American thing, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So when you eat certain greens, they contain a drug known as DMT.
Right.
Okay? It's in lots of greens that you eat. The thing is you have certain enzymes in your stomach that break DMT down. Okay? They're called, well, they're not called anything. They break the DMT down. Now, there's certain things that are called MAOIs inhibitors.
Yeah.
Okay? And what they do is they can block that breakdown, which is when you take certain thing, you'll always read on the back of your medicine, do not take if you're taking an MAOI inhibitor.
Yeah. Now the MAOIs are in your brain.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So what they do is they take this vine called ayahuasca, right? Which isn't the drug. It's just a super powerful inhibitor. It blocks that thing that breaks down DMT. So they take a random green leaf. It's not super random. They got certain ones they use. They contain DMT. And they take the ayahuasca vine, which for some reason not just stops the process that breaks down DMT in your body, but enhances it. It's very strange. It's like this special vine. And they make it into a tea. You sit in a hut, a very primitive hut with a shaman in pure darkness.
It's hot in there too, right?
Hot.
Hot.
Like Nicolas Cage hot.
So hot.
And you drink this tea. And you have what is described as the most intense trip you can possibly have on this planet
Yeah.
for 4 hours.
Really?
You go through, you literally die.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this journey, and it's been used to cure people with PTSD,
Yeah.
and things like this because it forces everything in your subconscious into your face. It forces everything to come out with all this symbolism and forces you to confront it. You cannot escape it.
Right.
And after journey of doing this, you come to face your fears, conquer them, and then after that, it leads into these beautiful journeys through these because this is what you were talking about, Nick.
Yeah.
These geometric fields, and like
Right.
you infuse into the universe, and like it's just it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But everyone who said it says, yeah, you die.
Well, the
You literally die.
it's amazing how you just said that, because I read an article about how they're attempting to try and treat PTSD with this, and that's exactly what it does. Is it breaks down those walls that we've all built up around things that we just don't want to remember, that almost somehow shapes us in the way we act
Sure.
and see things.
Sure.
And deep down, if people are afraid of something or something traumatic that has happened to them, instead of pushing it way down, what this does is it breaks those barriers, and it, like you said, forces it into your face.
Sure.
Just like something bad happens to you at work, you're about to get fired or something, and you walk right up to your boss and fucking take care of it. It's done. You forget about it, whatever. Right? This is bringing back all that fucking dirty laundry and everything that has happened to you, and makes you face your fears. And then all of a sudden, it helps you deal with it.
So what you're saying is every time we have an intern on here, we should offer some ayahuasca on the way out the door?
Yeah, or anyone that decides to fight me in the cage probably should take it after we fight, so that
I'm going to fight you in the cage, but I'm going to take it before.
we're both gonna take it and sit in the middle and sweat.
Yeah, we're gonna mind fight Jay.
Joe, I
Yeah.
have a question. Now, have you heard that going back to DMT, that DMT is actually the chemical that's released in your brain before you die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
okay.
at birth.
And
yeah.
at birth, correct.
It's the death drug.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much made to make death okay.
And it's in every living creature on the planet,
Which
right?
is amazing. Yeah. Which, if you just think about it, it's like a trip. Joe Rogan had a whole thing on DMT.
Yeah, it was
He's
a
got
great
a show.
episode.
It's unbelievable.
I believe Duncan Trussell was on that one.
All those guys. Yeah. They. But one more thing about ayahuasca before we get off the topic, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. But you were talking about stress. Stress restructures your brain.
Yeah.
It is now proven that hallucinogens unstructurize it, and they just had this on the news with mushrooms, a
And
woman with cancer.
And recategorize
It
everything.
recategorizes, and not only does it do that, the effects of one trip can lead to positive outcomes for 20 years. Just one time,
Yeah.
when used to treat it in the right setting.
Right.
So, check out ayahuasca, people. Go online. Joe Rogan and Aubrey Marcus both did a phenomenal thing on it. It's usually on their podcast. Look it up. It's the Peruvian Death Vine. You can only do it, I believe, the right way in Peru through
With a shaman.
go to a
Yeah.
trusted source. Don't just go to Nuck on the corner of the street, Jefferson and Best, and grab that shit. Go down to Peru.
Yeah.
Do it the right way. You know, responsibly as always.
Yeah. It's amazing how these things aren't researched. Even they should take the worst fucking drugs for people and see how they can benefit, because like we always talk about, life is a game of chess, right? So okay, it's a bad fucking thing. That's the way we look at it. But now see what it actually does and see if we can use it to recreate or restructure something else, a bad thing, to make it into something
I
positive.
mean, look at snake venom. Snake venom's bad.
Right.
You get snake venom in you, you're dead.
Right. But
Breaks
now,
down, but now we
what do they
find-
yeah. But now what do they use it for?
All kinds of things.
Yeah.
Cancer fighting.
Right.
You know, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So there's positive properties to everything.
Yeah.
Even anal.
Facts.
Facts.
Facts. Let's get into some of these questions, huh?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm
First,
excited.
I just want to tell everybody how to get a hold of us. You can go Gmail. You can email us your questions at podcastsavage@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Instagram now.
We are.
How?
You can search Savage Podcast, and we will pop up.
Seems like people have been seeing us pop up.
Yeah. We actually have a question tonight from someone on Snapchat.
Excellent. That's great. I love that.
Mhm.
Snapchat is Podcast Savages.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, ampersand, Podcast Savages. Find us on SoundCloud. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Podcast One. And most importantly, go to www.thesavagepodcast.net and check that shit out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Everything's on there.
Did you ask me before what our Instagram was or Snapchat? You asked me Snapchat, right?
No, I said Instagram.
Okay, well, that's a lie. Our Snapchat is Savage Podcast. And our Instagram is the whole thing, The Savage Podcast.
Okay, so Instagram.
Or you can just go to the website.
Go to the website because we did this thing. We put these little buttons near the feed. So on our Instagram feed, there's a feed that says follow. Just click on that. On Twitter, there's another feed. And then we've got this special section called Sav J and Sav Joe Text from Last Night, where we've started listing our personal conversations between each other for you guys to look at.
Yeah.
So you can see a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes. And I'll tell you what, it's always exciting. It's always good.
This is buzzing right now,
which is going to lead into my first question.
Yeah.
How often do you guys see each other outside of the podcast?
No, that's easy. Every second of every day.
There it is. Nailed it.
Bunk beds.
Bunk beds.
Yeah.
FaceTime.
Yeah, sleepovers and shit.
Yeah. I've got a poster of Jay on my windshield.
You have to realize, people, that not only do we do the podcast, there's a lot of behind the scenes work with the podcast since we can't keep an intern because we keep firing them. So we spend hours and hours and hours of our personal time working on the show, which we wouldn't be doing anything else except training, which we also train.
Yep.
So we wake up in the morning, we train, we do all of our training and shit. Then we come spend a couple hours prepping for the show. Then we take a couple hours, do the show, and then after that, we edit and upload and get everything online for everybody to check us out.
Then we climb into our bunk beds.
Yeah.
And then we text each other until it's very best time.
Yeah, and or I'm down there reading Seed by Anya Alborn.
And I'm reading The Devil Crept In.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why?
Because Anya is going to be on our show February 10th. And the first, Seed is amazing, which we'll talk about.
Amazing.
A different show. But The Devil Crept In, Joe's reading it currently now, and then I'm going to read it when he's done, and then we're going to interview Anya Alborn. Now, we have a copy. She sent us a copy of the book herself.
Which doesn't come out till February 7th. I have the advanced, uncorrected proof
In your hands.
Yep.
So don't look for it right now, but be excited because the day it releases, go get the fucking book.
Did you know she signed this?
Oh, yeah, of course she did.
What a signature.
Yeah, she signed the check.
Yeah. She signed the check.
Yeah.
So thanks to Anya for sending me this book. I'm already excited as fuck to read it.
Yeah.
Looks terrifying.
Yeah.
That book was the scariest book I've ever read. Seed. I hope this tops it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Can I also add that I showed this to everyone in the family and they were jealous. I made everyone in the family read Seed.
Good.
So when I got this in the mail, I was like, "Oh, no big deal, Famous."
Yeah,
and
Famous, and you can't look in here. By
I
the
was
way.
like, "Don't even look at it.
Yeah.
Don't look at it."
Look at you made him look at the package it came in.
Yep, not the actual book.
Yeah. Did you let him smell the package?
Hell no.
Okay, good.
Hell no. Fuck them.
That's for us.
So that was our first question. So yes, we see each other quite a bit outside the podcast because not only are we friends, we also train together, we work together. So there it is.
Next question. Let's see. This one's interesting because this one is kind of topic related of the show. That's why I kind of picked this one off of our email feed.
Oh, good.
This one comes from Kevin in Depew, New York. The question is, what is the worst drug to withdraw from? I'm going to let Nick kind of
I'm going
take
to pass
this
the
one.
ball over to Nick here.
Yeah.
Physically or mentally?
Let's do physically.
Yeah.
Well, going back to what I was saying earlier, alcohol is a terrible, terrible drug to come off of. If you're truly drinking every day. At one point, I was drinking almost 1.75 liters of vodka a day.
Wow.
But physically, the drug that makes you want to like it makes you feel like you want to die is opiates are terrible to come off of. Heroin, fentanyl, painkillers, stuff like that. But honestly, probably the worst drug to come off of is alcohol and benzos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Shit, good question from Kevin, and he asked this one a while ago. And like we said, people, if you have questions, send them in. And sometimes we do sit on the questions because we know that we have experts coming in.
Yeah, to answer. Sometimes Jay and I we don't have. I mean, I could tell you what the hardest drug for me to come off was, and that was caffeine.
Yeah.
Monster.
You get
Monster.
You get grumpy.
Monster.
Grumpy.
Yeah. So, but it's good we'll save your questions for a time when someone like Nick can come on and address them properly.
Right.
What
else we got?
What is your favorite martial arts or combat sport to train?
Oh,
I'll let you go first.
Is this?
This is from Rick in Depew.
Okay. Do you think he wants more of a specific answer of one or the whole MMA because it's kind of tying everything together?
Yeah, let's leave MMA out of it. Tell me what your favorite single art is.
My favorite single art. Oh, that's tricky. I'm gonna have to say my favorite one is Muay Thai kickboxing. I love jiu-jitsu. Don't get me wrong on that. However, since I have a bigger background in quote unquote grappling, I feel like I have a decent understanding of my ground game. So when I train Muay Thai kickboxing, it's a little bit different because I like striking, especially because I'm in the gear of MMA. I love the stance. I love how a Muay Thai kickboxer's hands are a little bit different than any other style. You know, they're more up in the air, letting more room for your legs to do a lot of the work, which, like, you know, I came from a taekwondo background.
Sure.
So I love the kicking in Muay Thai, and then dude's got some boxing on him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my favorite one to train. That's a really good question.
Yeah. I do actually like that stance. You're right. That does change things a little bit. But anyways, for me, it's always been jiu-jitsu, but I would say, and it probably will always stay that way just because it's constantly a way to stimulate my mind while getting exercise, while learning cool things. But right now, I'm really loving boxing.
Yeah.
Really loving boxing because I love the mitt work. I love the cardio. I love fucking folding bags in half. I love it.
Yeah.
So, but jiu-jitsu will always be my favorite. If I was stuck on an island, they were like, you can train one art for the rest of your life, it would definitely be jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And that's going to be the hardest one to master, even though no one's ever mastered it.
I'll need that whole island time to do it.
Right. You'll need some time. Very good question.
Yeah, it was
Thank
a great question.
Next question. This one comes in off of our Snapchat. This one, okay. On-air question from Sav Pat.
Sav Pat, what's up, man?
Suppose one only has $27.
Okay.
How can one use that $27 to get laid?
Ooh. All right, we'll go around the table on this one.
Yeah.
Let's start with the
You want to go
guest.
first? How would one get laid
With
with
just
$27?
Well, I know a couple girls that I get away with 4.
So he can get laid a lot for $27.
Yeah.
Right, so that's a couple rounds.
Yeah.
But $27, go out to the bar, get a couple shots apiece. You
There you
know what
go.
I mean?
There you go.
Maybe get some Mickey D's afterwards.
Oh, all right. All right. All right. Wined and dined. I like it. Jay?
What I would personally do is take that $27 and put it in my pocket and try and get laid for free. I'd walk up to a girl and be like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, you're gonna buy me a drink? That's great because it is 2016, equal rights, right?
Yeah.
So after she buys me a couple rounds, then I'll let her know if she's worthy of taking this hog. And then I would take her home, but I would take her home to her home in her car and get laid. And then on my way out, I'd probably use that $27 for a taxi ride back to my house.
That's a great use of the 27. Me, I'm going to take that $27. I'm going to go to the savagepodcast.net when the merchandise is up and buy a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I'm famous, I'm just going to get laid after that.
That's perfect.
No big deal.
Especially with the $27 worth of merch on you.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, whoa.
I know. They're going to be like,
Holy
wow.
shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I like that giant hog holder you got that says Savage on it.
Yeah.
So there it is.
I love that.
Sav Pat, sounds like you got $27, man.
Yeah. You're going to need it.
Good. Yeah, good luck. So there it is. All right. Well, we got one question left.
We got one question left before we do that. Everybody check out the website, www.savagepodcast.net. Check us out there. You can find all of our Twitter feed. You can follow us there. SoundCloud, iTunes, everywhere we are available right now. We are available so many places. There are actually places that we don't know are available because according to the analytics, people are listening to us all over the world.
49 countries last count.
Yeah.
49 countries last count.
Right.
Incredible.
Right.
Incredible.
That's not bad for doing this for a day and a half.
Yeah, not bad at all. Also, go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Keep sending those questions through Snapchat or send them through Twitter. Tweet us, DM us, throw us your comments, tweets, suggestions, questions, anything you want. And we got a lot of new stuff, exciting stuff coming up. Like I said, February 10th, we've got we've got Anya Alborn on, best-selling author. February 16th, we have Juliet Miranda of The Unwritable Rant. We'll be playing Cards Against Humanity with Beardo and a Weirdo Film Podcast online.
I love
big
it.
Deal.
I can't wait.
And then January 1st, we've got the wonderful Sean Jackson at Mad for MMA 1 on Twitter. For our 20th episode anniversary, New Year's special, UFC 2016 in review, extra special edition monster episode. Look for that. Sean's a great guy. It's going to be a lot of fun having him on.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And also,
yeah.
Thank you, Nick, for coming on today.
Nick, you're the man.
Awesome.
Great stories.
Thank you guys.
Great stories.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fantastic stories.
Oh, one more thing. At the end of this episode, our outro music is actually a freestyle that Nick has put down on the tracks for us. So check that out. It's fucking good.
Very cool shit. And if you're a musician out there, a local musician, or just and when we say local, we mean local wherever you are.
Yeah, local in your network.
Hit us up. Go through our Gmail, go through the website, and if you want your stuff played on the air, on the podcast, we'd gladly do that for you. So send that our way too.
Yeah. So
are we ready?
Yeah, what's that last question?
Okay, last question comes from Chantel. Chantel in Dallas, Texas.
Chantel?
Chantel.
What is she doing in Texas?
Not the right things.
Okay.
So, why do they call it Chasing the Dragon?
Oh.
Here we go. You've come to the right place.
Yeah, you sure have. Everybody knows the fairy tale of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Right.
The Seven Dwarves and all that.
Yeah. There was a dragon in that story.
Mm-hmm.
And that dragon, he was a little different.
Yeah.
He was a little different.
Yeah.
I think he was a male dragon that preferred the company of another male dragon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
He was a Blasian.
Yeah, he was.
So people took onto that story and they're like, oh yeah, and then Puff the Magic Dragon, that song came out by Elvis.
Yeah. That was in the Stax record years.
Yeah. Unbeatable Years.
Unbeatable
Yeah,
Years.
It started off as a blues song.
The sixth Beatle, by the way, just in case you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was probably the most famous one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
The most famous of the sixth Beatles.
Yeah.
There were 3 of them.
Right.
So, Chasing the Dragon. You're right. Alice in Wonderland. I think so. That was Warner Brothers who did that story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as what happened to the dragon and why you're chasing him, why don't you start on that, because you know more about that than I do.
Oh yeah, Chasing the Dragon. Well, going back to the Black Panthers, the dragon, he felt a certain way, right? And anytime he walked down the street,
Mhm.
unfortunately, because of his sexuality and his color, people would start chasing him.
Because he had Pokemon eggs on his back.
Yeah, and no one liked that.
No.
So people would chase him.
Mm-hmm.
Chase him all the way the fuck home.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you knew it, it wasn't just a couple of people. It was a whole fucking crowd chasing him. And then they got their pitchforks and shit. And we all know that, back in the day with pitchforks, that came from China. They chased him with pitchforks, and they couldn't stop there.
No.
More people
Yeah.
and more people started chasing this fucking dragon, this poor dragon.
This dragon ended up dragging D's nuts
Yeah.
up and down the street trying to run from these motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they were giant nuts.
Giant dragon nuts.
Yeah, so he was dragging D's nuts
Yep.
down the street, and it would leave these 2 sweat marks.
Right.
And that's how they got him every time, because he would run home and they would follow his sweat nuts.
Right. So when you're sitting there snorting coffee grounds and someone says, "Hey, you're chasing the dragon,"
Mm-hmm.
now you know.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Now you know that you're chasing the dragon, and all you're really trying to do is chase these nuts.
Chase
Chase these nuts.
D's nuts.
I'm the next generation, a manifestation of the devil. Hell, I'll say whatever I can to make you fucking hate me. Cause I ain't been fucking innocent since I beheaded a Teletubby and fucked a hole in front of a fucking baby.
Dada?
I said, shut up, Heather, and put on these leather assless chaps. I bent her over and told her there ain't no coming back after that.
Get it?
Give me 1 week, and I'll have your bitch walking Grant Street with one thumb in the air and the other stuck up her butt cheeks. They said they want to hear a white boy rap and be positive for children. But I ain't rap nothing positive for children since I tested positive for Hep C and had Rachel fall on her back in the RAF building.
Told me you love me.
I dropped by immigration on my baby's mom and got her visa taken. Suck a cock, Teresa, I'd rather be masturbating. I said, what you into? She said, I don't care, just please don't fucking freak out. I told her to get topless. I ain't mean for me to grab her hair and tear her fucking weave out. I picked up this Indian bitch from 7-Eleven then. I got her hooked on the needle, fucked her, then told her thank you, come again. Ma babuda.